name is Dave Ashon, and I started this company about 15 years or so ago. And Fred, maybe explain your role here at the company.
Yeah, so I am the client relations manager here at Engage by Cell, and my role is to onboard new customers, get them trained on how to use the services that they signed up for, but also be the go-to on any technical questions from day to day. So if anyone has any technical questions, you can reach out to me.
Great. I see in the chat that we had not turned on the chat feature. So there you go. Technology can bite you, but we did that just to see if everybody's paying attention. Hello, Ed, Crystal, Richard, Trish. Hello, everybody. Okay, so let's dive in here. Just a little bit about us. Been around 15 years or so ago. We touch 4 or 5 different areas, museums and nonprofits, a lot of workforce development, and then quite a few clients, would you say, Fred, in HR and training. It's probably the fastest growth area we've got. And I think that's why micro-learning is just such a hot topic. We've got about 4,000 clients in 10 countries or so. Because mobile is so ubiquitous now, it seems like it's the hot topic. And how can we get you folks to learn a little bit more about how you can use mobile in your workplace? And that's what we're going to be talking about. We had a fantastic webinar with Shannon Tipton. If any of you attended that, let us know in the chat window. Just let us know if you attended. We will also send you a copy of the webinar we did last month, Fred and I and Shannon did with this whole topic of microlearning. And she is an expert, and we'll provide to you her email contact. So if you actually want some consulting help, she's probably one of the experts in the country on microlearning. Trish attended. Thanks, Trish, for that. So what we're going to do today is not talk so much about microlearning, but how can you implement microlearning using some technology. Trish is a big proponent of this being something that is short bursts. She calls it right-size content, trying to achieve some kind of outcome. It's not necessarily taking a 2-week class and chopping it up, although maybe some people would call that microlearning. It's more of, what can I learn from this little 3 or 4 minute experience right now? And that is such a problem that we're all running into. People are not reading their emails, they're not responding to phone calls, nothing like they used to. And if you can get folks to sign up to get a text message, something that we're a big believer in, I think you'll find that that's kind of the doorbell that gets people to look at your info, and then you'll give them some context right there on the phone and maybe a text, or as Fred's going to show you in just a little bit, maybe include a little bit.ly, a little link to a little micro-learning burst of content. And we'll show you examples in just a few minutes. Anybody has questions, we would love to have them throughout. So go ahead. I know we're talking about tapas at the moment. It's fine to talk about tapas. We are an equal opportunity discussion place here. So Shannon would argue microlearning has a beginning, a middle, and an end. So it's maybe a couple days worth of information, then you move on. And some people call it chunking, as you can see here on one of the slides that we got from Shannon and others. It's all about learning reinforcements. So try to think of this as, how can I get people interested in this topic that maybe they're not going to be interested in if they have to go to a computer or go to a website. All right, so do me a favor, Fred, tell everybody what they need to do right now.
So go ahead and take out your cell phone and open up your text messaging. So one way is you can just start a new text and then type in the phone number under the to field, which you see there now, 56512. And then on the message field is where you can type in the keyword demo. Or you can also open up your camera and scan that QR code.
So in the chat window, now that it's working, everybody, let us know when you get the text. We're actually sending an SMS, a text message, plus a picture or a little GIF. So Wes got it. And let us know, Trish and Crystal and everybody else. If you're in Canada or some other country, we would have to give you a different code. So you may not be able to get it, but it does work in 160 countries. Yeah, Wes, if you scan that QR code, it pops up your text messaging. So something that our engineers built, because when you get your own code, you'll get a 10-digit number. Some people say, whoa, that's a long number. So instead, you can just scan that QR code. All right, so everybody got this little text, and everybody sees the little GIF down there. And that's pretty fun, little fun thing there. Fred, tell us a little bit about why someone would want to kind of start the micro learning with something as simple as this, and kind of fun, but what's the whole point of this little exercise?
Just with MMS, I think that it's not so corporate, or it's fun, and it gets people to kind of have an interest in engaging. Just because it's when it's too corporate, it sometimes people get that feeling of spam. So it's kind of fun to just start out with a fun MMS like that.
Yeah, absolutely. So this is just how do you get people to say, oh, this is a new way that I'm going to be communicating with my boss, my trainer, the HR department, the head of volunteer, or whatever it happens to be. Now do me a favor. One of our favorite micro learning features is kind of a continual loop. So in some cases, you're going to want people to kind of tell you how they're doing, or do they have a question, or I didn't quite understand that, so that the circle can be tight and short. Just for fun, everybody, go ahead and text back from that text you just got the biggest benefit you see with micro learning. And don't you don't have to write a long journal here. This is just to show you the idea that you could your employees can receive a text, and then you can solicit responses about that. And what I'm going to do is move over just to show you part of what we wanted to do today is give you an example of the dashboard that we've got, just to show you how easy it is to work this. So this is our response area. Fred, you and I call this text chat. And you can see that these phone numbers, which would represent your volunteers, your docents, your employees, are responding. And Anna, who is in our marketing group and is part of this conversation today, she will come through in the next few minutes and reply to these. But you can see, I think microlearning is interesting. Great. Do you have any questions about it? And that's not going to go to the whole group, Fred, when I hit send, right?
That is correct. It'll just go back to that specific person who asked the question.
So go ahead, whoever that is, that 904 phone number in the chat window, just let us know that you got that. But what's so amazing about this texting is all of a sudden, instead of you sending out an email that says, hey, our lesson for the day, or I need you to do this, or read this, people, well, first of all, the open rate in corporate email these days is, I hear it's about 22%. In this case, when you get a text message, there's a very high likelihood you're going to respond to that message. And if I refresh my page, there'll be additional. No questions at this time. So I'll say, sounds great. Stay tuned. And once again, this is going right back to this 904 person. Okay, great. maybe, Anna, we want to send out, well, first, Fred, you have some examples you want to share about organizations kind of using this pattern to kind of kick off micro-learning. So tell us a little bit about some of your clients that are using this, send out the initial little text with an image or some kind of a GIF.
Yeah, so we've had, like a Center for Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion use MMS for holiday wishes, or if they have any events like conferences, they'll actually send a bio and a pic of some speakers prior to the event. And then also Dillard University will send fun pictures of their alumni to keep their support. So those are a couple examples.
Yeah, and there's another one called Always Giving Back that uses this for kind of micro learning, micro training, just a little burst of, here's maybe a picture of something that indicates what's going on, or a little short video, and it just gets people's attention. And that's what you're trying to do. If everybody read all the emails that you send, we probably wouldn't be having this webinar, but it's just not the way people behave these days. So we have to get above the fray. And the first thing is get their attention. All right, so that's great. Anna, I think you're gonna send out another text to talk a little bit about basic information. So let's look to see what's coming in. All right, so everybody got a text about Welcome to Leadership 101. Let us know in the chat window if you've got that. We're just assuming that all of us today are in some leadership role, and we're trying to build our leadership skills. And instead of making us go through a whole 2-day session on leadership, maybe we're going to try to use micro-learning to kind of get out the key points. In this text that we just got, Fred, there's a link. So tell us about the use of kind of basic texting and then links to help with micro-learning.
Yeah, so with text messaging, there's only so much you can share in a 160 character limit for a standard text. But sending people to a website using links with more information can get out a lot more of what you want to share with your audience. Just because you can have unlimited information on a website. So it's always a great idea to send people to a website via text that has more information.
Yeah. And in this case, what hopefully you all got, Anna, etc., we got a link to a page. And this is just one of the pages that you can create using our software tools. And on this page happens to be a video and a PDF. Well, if you emailed Fred and I in your leadership class a nice long email that said, we need you to read this PDF and watch this video, I'll probably say, well, I'll try to get to it later tonight. But when you just drop it in somebody's inbox, text inbox, and it says, before we learn how to be better leaders, we must learn where we're starting from. And here's the video. You press the little video, starts to play right off the bat. What we have found is the open rates for the people receiving these texts and clicking is something like 85%. And something like 65, 70% will click in the first 5 minutes of receiving that text. Well, in your world, all of you, I'm sure, struggle with it, trying to imagine people getting an email from you and doing that. But in this case, because they have opted into the texting and you've kind of conditioned them, sometimes it's some fun images like we did in the beginning. And now there's a video that you want me to look at, and maybe a PDF you want me to look at, and it comes in as a text. My phone buzzes, my phone makes a little ding. I look at it, it's from sharing in the training department. I click, and in 3 minutes, this little micro-learning burst of information comes right into my phone, and hopefully I'll have a few minutes to look at it. Fred, we've got probably 300, 400, 500 clients that are using the texting with links to a mobile page. Both of those things we provide to our clients. What are some examples on the microlearning side that kind of you want to share?
Yeah, I mean, you can create surveys on our mobile website surveys or service, and we have major car companies that are sending out those surveys to their salespeople, or even creating modules on our mobile website service and sending them out to their employees or sales groups via text. We have workforce development organizations that create resources on our mobile website, like how to get a job videos, or PDF files of different ways they can improve and get a job, basically how to get a job. So, and then they just send those out to their audience via text.
Mm-hmm. I was on a panel discussion about 2 months ago with a physician from Augusta University in Atlanta. And what he's using this tool for is he's loading all kinds of exercises and content that he wants his residents and his nurses to have access to and to study. But he just knows if he says to them, here's a 3-ring binder, go to it, they are just not going to ever have time to do it. So what this doctor does is he will schedule text messages to different groups of people, maybe 2 times a week, with just a little short burst of information that he wants them to look at that he feels maybe is getting a little bit stale. And he told me when we were at this World at Work conference that he's never seen so much content being consumed, because in the past they would send an email or attach a PDF and no one would really read it. So I think this concept of dropping it in people's laps, knowing what time of day is the best, because our analytics will tell you what's the best time of day, has really been helpful. All right, we've got another example of how you can test people's knowledge, because one of the key things Shannon talked about in our webinar last month was not only dropping this information into their text message inbox, but also just to do a kind of a gut check. Do you understand it? How do you feel about this? Let me know. Something you can't really do through email. It's just not, it's kind of too clunky. But we all know that if somebody texts you a question, do you want to go to dinner tonight? You reply yes, and off you go. So let's have Anna send all of us an example. All right, I just got mine. Let me know in the chat window if you all get yours. Mine says, let's test your knowledge. Tap the link to take a short quiz on leadership styles, because we are assuming that that's the little path we're going down. So when you click that, that will land on, once again, another mobile page that, that you can build using our tools. Fred, tell us a little bit about how this works and the different forms of quizzes and polls. And I know in a few minutes you're actually going to build one on the fly, but talk to us about what we're seeing on this page. And everybody, if you want to, go ahead and just click the little boxes. It doesn't really matter whether the answers are right or not, but go ahead and submit them. So Fred, tell us a little bit about this quizzing and polling and why that's so important with microlearning.
Yeah, so with specifically with our quizzes, they're very easy to use, and we have a lot of question types like multiple choice, polls, or open text, but they're very important to use just because they allow you to, as an admin or as the company, collect as much data as possible from all of it, either employees or your any type of audience that you have. But all of the results get entered into our reporting, which you have access to and could even export to, let's say, like an Excel file.
Fred, this is the page that you and Anna used to build it. thought I would just show you folks that it's just so easy to build these landing pages. We've got icons that represent different forms of content or engagement and even social media. And you just drag down what you want to include on the page. I'll just say this is an example of a title. And when I save it, it shows up automatically. So Fred, in his role of client services and an official trainer, he will teach all of you how to do this. But the idea is take all this content that people are probably not consuming, but they need it kind of in their head over and over and over again. Set up a little text message with the link to a page here. And here we came up with these various answers. Fred, talk a little bit about the reports that our clients can use to see how people are responding.
Yeah, so any of these, you can see in the middle row there, any of the engagement tools that you build out on any page, all of the results you will be able to pull up in our mobile website reports by date. So you can go as far as, a couple of years if needed. But it will, you can choose from different views, either by question or by user. Yeah. But you'll be able to, export any of those reports as well to an Excel if you're needing to put it into like a CRM or anything like that very easily.
So 2 or 3 days goes by, you've sent a couple of text messages, you're wondering whether people are really getting it. So you build a little quiz and you come here to quiz results, you click it, and all the results are shown by person, how many they got right. That all can be exported, even what time of day they looked at this. So it's just so powerful that we've been able to create all these tools for use by people like all of you that are learners and trainers and HR folks and bosses, but you don't have the skills of maybe being a coder or a graphic designer. And with all of these tools, you really don't need to do that. Some of the companies, Fred, that you work with that really use the testing and the quizzing, I mean, we've got quite a few automotive companies that have used it for 2-3 day weekend events, right? Sales training events.
Right, exactly right. So they'll literally create modules of new, car parts or any updates to the federal, regulations regarding, the automotive industry, things like that. So, for the financial institutions, they'll set up little trainings for onboarding new employees.
Yeah, that seems to be one of the hotter topics. We are signing up so many clients that are saying onboarding has become just really a nightmare with all the forms, all the people involved. People are not, the new employees are not coming into the central location. So they're using these mobile sites as kind of a portal and then sending text messages out on a schedule to help with the flow. So even though it's not really micro learning, it's just another good use for these tools. I think the next section we want to do, Fred, you can take over the screen. I wanted everybody just to see Fred in action, maybe build out a little poll and a little commenting section. We have quite a few clients that want their employees to be able to comment, not just by text message, but maybe on a mobile site. So Fred's going to show you how that is done. And feel free to ask us questions as you're kind of seeing Fred do this.
Yeah, so just like Dave showed earlier, you can take one of these icons that you want to build out. You'll just need to click the icon and then drag it down to the bottom build area here, and then an action box opens. So for polls, it's an edit poll box. So you'll first need to, write out your question.
Mm-hmm.
So as an example, what is your leadership style?
Yeah.
And then you can create your answers. You know, learn.
Mm-hmm. It's a hard one to spell.
Yeah.
Very good, Fred.
So you can choose to show the results to the user after taking the poll, like a certain percentage of who participated. You can restrict users to only one answer. And then we do also have these live screencasts. You can show, like, if you're at a conference or an event. So let me save these really quick, and then I can pull up some of these examples. So these live polls, when people are answering the polls, they will actually move in real time.
Right. Which is just one more part of this learning cycle, to get some kind of feedback and make me think I'm part of not just a solo person out there, but part of a group that's kind of going down this learning journey together.
So if I go ahead and answer as an end user, it'll tell me the percentage, and you'll be able to see all of these charts move.
Yep.
Depending on the internet, but there you go.
Yep, there it is.
100%.
Yep. What about commenting? That's another feature that we've added in the last year or so. How would people use this comment feature for microlearning?
Yeah, so with our comment feature, you can use it to get like a standard feedback. How are we doing? How can we improve? Things like that. But a lot of organizations also use it to get a discussion started about a specific topic. So an example would be, what is our name? Great leader.
Mm-hmm.
So with our comment feature, everyone who leaves a comment, their comment will actually be visible on the actual page. So it's fun to see what everyone's take on on the specific topic is. If you are worried about people leaving any weird or obscenities on the comments, as an admin, you're able to turn on a feature called approved comments before posting. So that means that if someone leaves a comment, it will not automatically show on the page until one of the admins goes into the reports and actually approves the comment.
Yep.
But otherwise, you're not too worried about that. Then comments that are left will appear right away on the page.
And Anna, why don't you grab, if you can, that URL, and just to show you, everybody on the webinar, how easy this is to do. Fred just, of course, built this while we were looking. Anna's going to grab the URL and text it out to us, and we can go in and answer those questions. Okay, we just got a text, everybody. So go ahead and answer the top one, and then you'll be able to answer a great leader you look up to. It can be funny or it can be real. It doesn't really matter. And as you folks are answering these questions, the poll and survey little chart is changing. And as Fred had indicated, that can be on their phone, or if you happen to have a live event, either like a Zoom meeting or a live event, that will all appear. And some of you are starting to answer the commenting questions. Maybe make that, oh yeah, approved comments, there we go. So here we go, Darth Vader, I love that. Jane Goodall, yeah, I saw her in San Francisco a couple years ago. She is amazing. Dave Ashheim, that's me. I did not write that, but whoever did gets a free account. And Lincoln, etc. So the idea here is, you sent people a text maybe a couple days ago, you had them look at a video, then you sent them some other content. Maybe you're testing their knowledge today, all little 3 or 4 minute bursts of things. They're fun to do. Now you finish, maybe this is the This is the second to last thing on your micro-learning 5-day, 4-day little event. And people are feeling good about it. They're going to look forward to the next little series of micro-learning because it's on my phone. It's fun. I get to almost play a game with these polls. And maybe we'll finish with this concept of kind of a leaderboard. We have quite a few folks that have said, how can I make this even more fun to get more people involved in the micro-learning? So I think Anna's going to send to you a text. So it says, Wes and Cornelia are rising on the leaderboard. Way to go, Wes and Cornelia. And if you want to see where everybody stands on the leaderboard, if you click that link, this is, of course, just a fake screenshot, but it could have been a live recap of where everybody is. Wes, good job. Once again, kind of the capstone for this little micro-learning little exercise, where it's been 3 or 4 minute bursts over time, and it has a beginning, middle, and an end. It kind of ends, and now we go on to the next little topic. All right, well, those are the points we wanted to review with you. Let's open it up for any questions from our audience, and see if you have something that that we can answer for you. Let us know if you've got any questions. I know that, as I said at the top of the hour, we'll be sending out a copy of the slides and of the video. The visuals, pie chart, poll results, yep, all in the reports section, Crystal. So you can run about 20 different kinds of reports. What time of day people are engaging. You can even run a report what person answered various questions or went to various pages, and all the pie charts, poll results, all of that will be available in the reports.
Yep, that's correct. So it's also in the poll editor. You can pull up the links to those different screencasts templates.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Anybody that would like us to demo to your group, Anna's going to send out kind of a final text, and all you've got to do is just reply, yeah, I'd like to see more, maybe sign up for a free pilot. We do those all the time. Be glad to do one of those for you folks. And so you'll be getting a text in a second or two from Anna. And if you're interested in a little pilot for your team, just reply with your name. We'll already have your phone number, and then we'll just call you and we'll just get that set up. Anything else before we wrap up? Okay, Julie, here we go. If I don't see the text message Q&A on the left navigation menu, is that because it's an optional feature? Yeah, Julie, it is a turn on, turn off feature. So just call Fred. Fred, maybe put your phone number here in the message. Call Fred and he can help you with that. This, we call it text chat, Julie and everybody. It's really popular. Not just for micro-learning, but you want people to communicate back to you, whether it's workforce development or how is the training going, or what about the benefits, or anything that you might want to engage with. So text chat, same thing as the text Q&A. That's great. All right. Anything else before we leave? You've got Fred's contact info. I will share my screen here so you've got all of our contact. Here is my email and phone number. If nothing else, then thanks for coming today to our micro-learning technical review. And hopefully you folks were intrigued enough to want to get a little free account for yourself. And if so, just text us back and we'll get you set up. Thank you, everybody. Appreciate it.